Welcome back. Making beats with me, Melvin Junko. Looking at this sample challenge from the Producer's Corner. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Producer's Corner, but they do weekly sample challenges, and you pick from this playlist they have. You make the beat out of it, and you send it over, and then they have judges that vote for the best beats. They do it once a week. They've done it for a while now. Let's see what samples they have. I am interested. We're going to pick a sample from this list of samples to chop up and make a beat out of. I've actually never really picked the sample that I was going to use when I'm streaming, because usually what I like to do is keep my samples kind of low key, so I don't really like showing the record that I'm chopping or anything like that. Yeah, I haven't really used one of these live streams to actually go through samples and pick one and chop it, so it's kind of a new thing. That's kind of a banger. I really don't think it matters what sample we use. We can make a dope beat. Let's do this. There's a playlist of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 beats. I'm gonna hit shuffle. Here it is. This is the one. Probably wouldn't have been my first choice, if I'm being honest. Shuffle, you did me dirty, but it's all good. Right there, that's a good spot. Alright, so we kind of got that intro spot. Maybe we want to get this spot with the horns in it. Alright, I think we're going to get right there. Alright, I think we got the sample. I don't think we got the sample. I know we got the sample. Alright, let's see what we captured and manipulated a little bit, get it sounding grimy. See what pitch sounds best on it, but I think we could grab some good chops out of this. Yeah, I think we'll definitely grab some good chops out of that. I think another reason why I haven't done any videos like this where I pick the sample live is because I don't like having to go and edit out the copyright stuff. If you straight play a song on your stream, it'll get flagged and you have to go through and chop it out. But if you have a manipulated short version of a sample or something like that that's kind of switched up from the original, it doesn't get flagged most of the time, so it's just easier. But at the end of the day, I actually kind of like doing the process of finding the sample live. It shows the beat getting made from top to bottom, you know? So long story short, we might do more like these. Alright, so now we're letting the MPC do the chopping for us. We recorded this loop of this sample that we got into the MPC and just recorded 60 seconds of it, and then we just did the auto chop on it, because usually, when you do the auto chop out of 16 options, you usually find some good stuff. So if you just kind of lay some drums down and then sit and play out the samples that the auto chop gives you, I can 99.9% of the time find something that works, that sounds dope. So, and then I'm not spending a bunch of time meticulously chopping and editing, and that stuff's not fun, man. I like making the beats. I like playing the samples out. I don't want to sit here and cut and paste. We're not in kindergarten. We're not doing arts and crafts. We're making beats. All right, let's see what chops it gave us. So there's one. So these are sounding pretty good. Lay down some fat drums, some slapping drums at about 86 BPM, and you're well on your way to a banger. Yeah, so we got the attack up on our chops, so they're fading in a little bit. We got them pitched down slightly in the MPC. They were already pitched down in the SP, but when we put them in the MPC, we pitched them down a little bit more just to give it some MPC manipulation. All right, now that we got our chops, let's find some hats, and then we'll find a kick drum and a snare that sounds good. Sometimes when I'm going through these, I use the same one like 3 beats in a row. It's all good though, because I get in like moods where like one hat will be a good mood for me for like 3 beats, and then I'll get sick of it, and then I move on, and it ends up working out because it's not like I'm making 20 beats with the same one, and then they get mixed up. So it's not like anybody ever knows, and if they did, who cares anyway, right? I like this snare too, I use it a lot. So we're going to go 86 BPM, that's kind of my go-to. It's not too fast, it's not too slow. It's got a really good head bob factor. And we got the same hi-hat on 3 different pads. Each instance of that hi-hat sound, though, it has something different going on. Like one has longer decay, so the tail end's longer. One has shorter, so the tail end's shorter. One's pitched up, one's pitched down. So it gives you some variation in how your hi-hats sound when you use the same sound on 3 different pads and change them all up a little bit. There's really no reason to overthink the drum loop either. I mean, just, redo the same drum loop with 15 different sounds, for 30 minutes or whatever. It's just a drum loop, man. It's boom bap drums. Like, they go boom, they go bap. What else do you need? We're just gonna play out some chops over the drums and see what we can come up with. It's a good starting point. Now we're going to try to come up with a second loop. That way we can transition back and forth between the 2 loops and give it some transitions and some different aspects to the beat so it's not too repetitive. So we got a couple of loops now. I'm just going to kind of add some extras on top of stuff. Like I'm going to see if I can make an echo out of this sound to kind of go in the background. Use some filtering from the MPC. So this is a technique that they used to use back in the 90s. Whenever you hear those horns in the background that are echoing, they usually had them on an MPC like this, and they had this feature on where it was actually just a volume differential of the same sound, and dudes would just play it out like that, and it would actually sound like an echo. I think we can keep that echo sound on the second loop, but we don't really need it on this first one, I don't think. Time to move over to the bass. Need some fat, chunky bass lines. If you don't got fat, chunky bass lines, do you even have a good beat? I will say, Necro has the fattest, chunkiest bass lines. I definitely got influenced by that dude with his bass. So I try to match the bass sound with something that's going on in the sample. I heard a couple of things come through, so should be able to get it in just one take and not have to record a bunch of different loops, but we'll see. I lied. I needed to do a few different recordings. When you record fast notes on the MPC, like, it can't keep up with you sometimes, so you gotta like space them out and be slower than what you're supposed to be. So I'm just trying to get the timing right. Some of those little like quirks that these older machines have, you just gotta work through them. All right, we got loops, we got additional sounds echoing in the background, we got bass, we got hi-hats, we got kicks, we got snares. I think this is enough to say we have an actual beat. So now at this point, let's record the final beat. I keep these puppies stored on my third SP over here, so usually I just pile up all of these pads with beats, and then once they're all piled up, once the SP's full of beats, then they gotta go on a computer, and so they can go live their life on the internet or on a cassette tape somewhere or something, you know. And one last thing too before I stop talking and we record this beat, we need intros, you know. So when you just have two loops, you just got two loops, that's boring. If you you know, you cut out the drums and the loop plays, and it plays for 4 bars, and then you bring the drums back in and that's the drop, that's boring to me. So what I do is when I hit record for the beat, I like to play out some chops to make just a random intro, and then hit play on the beat, and that way there's more to it than just like some looped. It's just looped the same timing the entire time, so the intro is just a little different than, you know, just playing the same loop over and over. And you can even do that with like drops and transitions in the middle of the beat. So if you're you know, you got your beat playing like this, right? This is the regular beat, and then some people do drops and they just mute the drums like that, and they bring the drums back in, and that's the drop or whatever. But you can just hit stop on your on the song, and then play a little funky something in the middle, and then hit play again. So little things like that I like to do because I've never seen anybody do anything like that before, and it breaks the monotony up of the same loop playing over and over. Anyway, let's record it out.